of days ago I did a session with a new 24 kilo kettlebell. So it was, if I remember correctly, it was clean, press, squat, pull up, and one of those moves I did for 2 reps, so it was a 5 rep set. Today I'm going to attempt the double 24s. Every time I break new ground, you know, I wonder if it's a bridge too far, but you've always got to try these things. So because it's double 24s, which is very heavy, I'm just going to do clean press squat. So it's a 3 rep set. There's a 2-minute timer. I'm not quite sure how many sets. If possible, I'd like to get up to 20 sets, but we'll see. Okay, I've done a bit of warming up already, not much. Just finish off, warm up. Get some jerk on. Let's run through with a pair of 16s and a pair of 20s. Just still consider warm up. Went for a 5k yesterday afternoon. Sort of worked out 2 of the day, I suppose. Went slightly faster. I think today, after this, I'm going to probably go for a slow 6k. So 6k but very gentle. Not worried about timing. Just a glorified walk really. Okay, so pair of 16s. Oh. That's it, that's the sequence. Clean, press, squat. Pair of 20s. So now we're here, 24s. virgin territory. Shut up, Bob. Bob. Come on. So yeah, a pair of 24s. I suppose this first one's going to be hard. Second one might be a bit easier, and then it'll get hard again, I suppose, over time. This protocol that I'm doing, it's going to be quite at random. So I'm going to do it every other day. Probably have not Sundays. Sundays I'm just going to go for a jog. That's it. Sunday jog, nothing else. If that, maybe even a complete day off. But I'm doing this every other day, and it's going to be quite at random. And the way that I'm randomising it is that I'm using a dice system. So you throw the dice and it decides sort of like what weights, what precisely everything just goes at random. Yeah, but I've got to make it progressive, obviously. Okay, here we go. See what happens. Oh, I dropped the squat. Obviously I still did it, but yeah, it's quite hard because the belly itself is quite big, so it's quite hard to get in position. But, it wasn't so much the weight of it; it was just the awkwardness of holding it. But, I'll get used to it. I'll work it out. I mean, the press wasn't bad. It's a pair of 24s. It's a hefty. I mean, it's now for me anyway. Everything with kettlebells is harder than barbells. You know, they're unstable. But I suppose it's one more factor that you get used to, I suppose. I'll get there. I didn't think it was so bad, that first attempt. You know, the squat was the hardest though, you know, it's surprising, isn't it? You know, I thought that pressing them was easier than squatting them. And, you know, it's just precisely, it's the, you know, because it's kettlebells again. Okay, so that was pretty good. We've got an incredible 2 sets. But yeah, I felt at that time that I was wary. So this protocol, it's called iron cardio, and it's there's a book on it by Brett Jones if you're interested. Anyway, iron cardio, Brett Jones. So I'm following the ideas from the book, and one of the ideas is that you vary up using dice rather than any structure. I mean, you can go for a structured pattern, and apparently, you know, if you get deep into it and you want to lift some really heavy weights, you know, you're going to have to go structured. But being is that I'm not only doing this, you know, I'm doing other protocols. So for example, yesterday I did purely swings. So the swings are on a structure. There's a structure to the swings, and every workout is harder than the last. But this one, it's a different kettle of fish. I'm using this as to test out this sort of like chaotic idea of using dice. Okay, three, another three. Yeah, I'm definitely struggling to squat. So the basic structure of the thing is what I'm doing now. Clean, press, squat. But then there are all sorts of variations. For example, you can add in snatch. You can add in a pull-up. You can do one of the moves for 2 reps. So for example, you could do 2 cleans, press, squat. You could do clean, 2 presses, squat. You could even go up to 3 reps. But he says, you know, the author says 5 reps is the maximum. You know, after 5 reps you're using a different energy system. So I think what it's all about is hitting your fast twitch fibres, and I think that because you're only going for sort of like, you know, very low reps, you're avoiding the lactate or something of that nature. Yeah. I think it's what's called anti-glycolytic training. In other words, you don't get into the carbohydrate burning because it's a short effort. So the short effort is a certain energy system, and longer efforts are a different energy system. So it's just 5 reps. Okay, go again. Come on then. Yeah. Like another variation is travelling twos, he calls it, whereby, so you do a set, you do 2 cleans, 1 press, 1 squat. Then you go 1 clean, 2 presses, 1 squat. Then you go 1 clean, 1 press, 2 squats. So the 2 is travelling. Another variation, you can use 2 sets of bells. So you can use a pair of 24s and a pair of 20s and alternate. You can use 3 sets of bells. So you go up a ladder, pair of 6, well I've got pair of 16s, pair of 20s, pair of 24s. Repeat. But, you know, luck would have it that I rolled the dice and I got a pair of 24s, which is, you know, I was obviously it was me who set the parameters, me who set the options. And I know I can do pairs of 20s for squats and presses. But, yeah, went straight into a pair of 24s. So here we are at the deep end, I suppose. Doing alright. 4 sets, 5 sets coming up. See if we can get 20. The bottleneck is definitely the squat for me. And I believe it's because, you know, the vast majority of squats that I've ever done in my life have been powerlifting style. low back squats, heavily engaging the posterior chain, the back of your body, whereas this squat is like an exaggerated front squat. All the weight is in front of you. You gotta fight against it. I think it's engaging the quads a lot more. So even though it seems to be a relatively light weight, it's deceptive. It's still a hard squat because of it's the movement pattern. The movement pattern is, well, A, I'm not accustomed to it, B, it's just difficult anyway. So kettlebell squats are hard. I do have a distant memory of doing 10 sets of 3 with a pair of 24s. And even that I'm not sure of. But I think I did. And at that time I was a decent squatter with the barbell. Now I'm just mediocre squatter with the barbell, and these are kicking my ass. But it's all about doing what's difficult. Come on then. Okay, we're getting there. I'm just so glad that the dice didn't come up with 2 squats. But yeah, I suppose in some ways it's sort of like, psychologically it's very stimulating not to know what's going to happen. So you don't know what's coming up until you throw the dice. So you don't get this sort of like this ever mounting weight as you progressively, go up and up and up and up every session relentlessly, which has its place, but you don't get it with this method. So some days it's going to be relatively easy. Possibly if it comes up on the very, the way that I set it up is that the options are between 20 minutes and 40 minutes. So if it comes up 20 minutes, I'll probably do something else afterwards. Or something difficult afterwards. I'm not sure. Today I'll see how I feel. If I get 20 sets, I might do a bit of arm work or something easy. See how it feels. Okay, that's feeling a bit better actually. I always find that any form of squatting, barbell or whatever, it takes some getting warmed up on them. You have to do the movement quite a few times before it starts feeling fluid, let's say. Still got this, not really a neck crick, I'm going to say it's my trapezius. So the trapezius, it's all on the right hand side. It's definitely improving though. Now that I'm doing this, I start to feel it again. But, it definitely feels like it's on the mend. I don't think it was anything particularly serious. It's not like there's no sharp pain or anything like that. It's like a dull, achy pain. One, two, three, four, five, six. I've done 7, so I'm a third of the way there. Passing third. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good actually. Better compared to how it felt. The first few squats just felt awful. Awfully hard. Let's say. Awfully hard. But now they're softening up. Or I'm softening up. It's now the stiffness is dispelling, dispersing, going away. And I'm definitely feeling a bit warmer. It's not a terribly cold day. Pretty normal. September, I imagine. Definitely feeling leaner and meaner. That always comes with running. You know, obviously. The problem with running is it's working against your strength. Yeah, you can get stronger, but you know, it's a bit like it slows it down. Let's say it's not as effective as purely doing strength work. But the problem with purely doing strength work is you're missing all the benefits of running or any other cardio. So I think that the best policy is always to do a bit of cardio. I'm doing quite a lot recently. Just a face, fat burning face. Come on then. That one felt hard again. And part of the issue is because it's quite difficult to hold them in place. Yeah, because they can easily fall out of your arms. You tend to, you have to take your time squatting, so you're under load longer. You can't just like drop down in any way. Obviously, doing the movement slower is harder. Better, conceivably, better, I would say it's better, but it's still harder. I also think that for a big chunk of this year, I've been doing some sort of either shoulder specialisation or favouring my shoulders, emphasising shoulder work. And I think that is definitely helping at this moment in time. I think in many ways for me, that combo of squatting and shoulder work is pretty ideal. And that's something that kettlebells are good for. Yeah, I messed it up completely. I still did it, but yeah. Yeah, that put me off no end. So another factor to be wary of, clipping this. So I think what happened there is I did the clean, and the clean hit the bucket. That's another thing to be wary of. Still, I'm gonna take it. All part of the teething process, all part of the learning curve. If it were easy, it'd be boring. You know, the whole charm of it is how difficult it is. It's overcoming the difficulty, isn't it? Yeah, that's the charm of it. Yeah. Let's say you just automatically improve really quickly. You know, basically you're on steroids. Yeah, there's not much game to that in my mind. Yeah. I think I was quite lucky in one way that, you know, when I was coming up in the game, you know, steroids were not readily available. I had no idea how to get them, and I didn't, and I still haven't. Okay, back in the groove. Yeah. Okay, I'm more than halfway now. But yeah, as far as I can make out, steroids in this country, in the UK, are massive. Yeah, the funny thing is, you know, I don't know. You know, I live in a little town. I don't get out as much as I used to do either. But yeah, you don't see that many massively jacked people. Imagine a lot of people going straight into using steroids from the get-go. You know, as kids. Whereas easily they could have made some progress without. Save the steroids for later, if ever. You know, it's almost like, you know, somebody said to you, now here's one pill, not going to do you any harm, no damage involved, yeah? Eat this pill and you can look like, I don't know, a good bodybuilder. You can look like Frank Zane, you know, excellent bodybuilder. Yeah. There wouldn't be much value in it, would there? You know, anybody could do it. It wouldn't be a mark of anything. It wouldn't show any effort or process or determination or anything. It would just be a purely cosmetic thing. Be almost like wearing a suit. Step into a suit. You know, maybe society degenerated to that extent. You know, become so completely commercialised and capitalistic and consumerist. We can't think in terms of, you know, long-term process. Obviously some people can, but, you know, generally speaking, who knows? All I can say is that I'm glad I never took them, and I never will. You know, I'm approaching 60. If my testosterone tanks, so be it. I'm not going to go for TRT or anything like that. just another form of dependency. I think I'm on 12. I'm doing alright. Right now I'll get to 20. Yeah. So as I was saying before, the exact parameters, so whether or not you do 3 reps or 4 reps or 5 reps, if you're doing adding a pull-up or a snatch, if you're using 2 bells, 1 bell, lightweight, heavyweight, all of that is determined by a dice throw, which is great fun until it comes with double 24s. It's great, no, it's good, seriously. Psychologically refreshing. But I think, well, what you can do is reserve one factor that is not dependent on a dice throw. So, for example, if I get this exact combination again, I can put it on a slightly time. You know, I can take 10 seconds off the timer. Yeah. So it's always going to be, you know, so it's not going to be a case of simply repeating the same workouts. It's a randomised series of workouts that repeat. No, I will make it progressive in one sense at least. So I will add in, well, there's 2 ways I can do this. I'll either manipulate the rest period, or I can add in more work after this session. So I can do these 20 sets, and then do more work afterwards. That'll be another form of progress. So, you know, it's not going to be simply random. There will be progression to it. Part of the problem here is that I've got an ingrained squat style that involves quite a bit of forward lean. So it's like, you know, when I'm doing the barbell, the bar's quite down my back, so that pushes you forward. And then it's all about going backwards with the butt. And it's all creates quite a bit of forward lean, which is not so good with these, because if you lean forward, you know, you're just going to tip the weights out of your arms. So you've got to stay back. You've got to keep your body to a certain extent at least more upright. I'm fighting my my natural squat to adapt to these kettlebells. But all variation, you know, it's causes adaptation, makes your body respond. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, you know, the response is muted at best. You might not get any response. Might just plateau. See my face if I get down to the bottom of the squat. You know, I'm really struggling to keep it all tight, to keep it all together. in this game, struggling is good. You got to control everything. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, but generally speaking, the raw reality of it is inflicting stress, adapting to stress. Five more sets, so 3/4. 5 more, pretty good, I think. This feels like a big win. Obviously there are a couple of mishaps along the way. It wasn't perfect. Cardio wise, it don't feel too bad. Not killing me at all. But it doesn't feel like I'm sort of like rushing. No, it feels more like strength work, which is good. So I suppose, again, just because you're emphasising one quality, which in this case is conditioning and fat loss, yeah, it doesn't mean you can completely let go of all the other qualities. You've got to keep them in the mix somehow, otherwise you're perpetually starting from scratch. Yeah. And obviously, if I carry on like this and I don't do any barbell squats, when it comes down to, one fine day when I've decided, okay, let's have a run at the barbell again. My barbell squat is going to be way down, but because I've done all this, it will bounce back quite nicely. This is not easy squatting. So I'm going to say this is preserving my squatting ability to at least some extent. You can't specialise in everything. You can't emphasise everything. But there's no emphasis at all there. If you just go for general strength and conditioning, you're gonna be quite mediocre at everything, which is not a bad thing. It's one way to do it. It's all of a likeness in some ways. For example, you can be mediocre at everything, across the board, or you can emphasise one aspect and reduce the other stuff. Personally, I prefer that approach. So, I'm conceiving what I'm doing as generalism. I'm a generalist. I'm not specialising in any sport or activity. I'm a generalist. But it's a series of specialisations. So, for example, you specialise in power lifts, you specialise in bike riding, specialise in running, specialise in kettlebells, specialise in burpees, whatever. Yeah? Do it for a reasonable amount of time, then move on to something else to specialise in. So the overall effect is, you're a generalist, but from moment to moment you're a specialist, if that makes sense to you at all. You're just rotating your specialisations, you're going through different specialisations without settling on one. Which to me, that idea, that approach, is the one that is most compatible with health. So you're not just becoming, you're not just becoming a one-trick pony and letting everything else decay. You're not just a distance runner with no muscle, no bone density. You're not just a powerlifter that can't run 500 metres or whatever. That's going to die of something cardiovascular. I suppose alongside that, also, in terms of physique, I'm looking for something which is quite middle of the road. So I don't want to be massively overweight. I feel at this moment in time I am overweight. Yeah? Maybe not massively, but I am. I would be. I think last time I got weighed, I weighed in at 87. Yeah. I'll be more comfortable at 83. Between 80 and 83. I'll be thinking. It's still pretty heavy for my height. Be the top end of a healthy BMI. Which I'm not saying BMI is all that. But I won't be small. One more, last one, 20, done it. Excellent. I think I'll do some a few sets of triceps. Yeah. After this, because tomorrow I think I'll be doing swings again. So I'm gonna pair this with the swing program. So this is quite chaotic, and the swing program is structured. By doing this, I don't think I need to do a separate squat program, a separate clean and press program. So I think what I'm doing here, plus the kettlebell swings, is sufficient. Every now and again on this one, it does incorporate snatches and pull-ups. I think on the swing day, do a bit of ab work, and on this day, do a bit of tricep work. That's it. Then the PM, cardio, traditional cardio. That's it, done. Excellent. Excellent, 20 sets. Pleased with that. I didn't quite know what to expect. Could have been beyond me. Pair of 24s. But there go, pair of 24s conquered to a certain extent, obviously. Part one of conquering pair of 24s done and dusted. Okay, I'm going to stop filming. I will do about 5 sets of tricep push downs. That's it. Okay, thank you very much. Cheers.